British MPs set to vote on no-deal Brexit. MPs will vote Wednesday on whether Britain should make a potentially chaotic no. The House of Commons is expected to vote against leaving the bloc without a deal, although it remains the default option come March 29 unless an alternative can be secured. MPs on Tuesday rejected for a second time the withdrawal deal agreed between Brussels and Prime Minister Theresa May, despite her obtaining last-minute assurances from EU officials over key sticking points. Some Eurosceptics are now pressing to end Britain's 46-year EU membership with no deal, but May warned this could cost significant. London announced Wednesday it would scrap tariffs on 87% of imports and would not apply customs checks on the border with Ireland if Britain leaves the European Union without a deal. The temporary plan is aimed at avoiding a jump in prices of EU imports and a disruption of supply chains immediately after Britain leaves the EU. Tariffs would be retained but reduced for some agricultural products such as beef, pork, and dairy imports to protect British producers. If the no unenviable choice is May. After her defeat, May warned MPs on Tuesday voting.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park.